My name is Satyanarayan and I'm one of the mentors at IQ Ideas. In this video, we are going to take a look at a brief introduction to the Indian Contracts Act. Contracts is an important portion of civil law that you are expected to know the basics of when attempting the legal aptitude section in most entrance examinations like the CLAT. Contracts in India are governed by something known as the Indian Contracts Act of 1872. So as the name itself suggests, it was a law which was created during the British era, and the fundamentals have remained the same even today. Now, according to Section 2H of the Indian Contract Act, a contract is nothing but an agreement which is enforceable by law. So, we can derive that all agreements are not enforceable by law, and therefore all agreements are not contracts. For example, an agreement that two people make to sell and purchase a bike may be enforceable by law if one of the parties does not abide to the agreement. But if an agreement is made to go out on a dinner date, then it is not necessarily enforceable by law, because this just happens to be a social agreement and the law would not take it seriously. So now that we have seen that the contract is an agreement enforceable by law, how is the word contract defined? According to Section 2E, every promise and every set of promises forming the consideration for each other is an agreement. Which means in an agreement, there is a promise to be made from both the sides. It cannot be one-sided. For example, A promises to deliver his cycle to B. In return, B promises to pay a sum of rupees 5,000 to A. So there is said to be an agreement where there results a promise between the two persons A and B in this case. So a promise is a result of an offer or a proposal by one person and its acceptance by the other. So what Section 2B of the Act defines promise as under. When the person to whom the proposal is made signifies his assent thereto, the proposal is said to be accepted, and the proposal when accepted becomes a promise. So supposing I offer to sell you my car. The moment you say yes to it, I am bound by a promise. So one person gives a proposal, the other person accepts that proposal, and this is a promise. Now the promise from both the parties to one another is what creates the agreement. So now that we have seen what a promise is, we use the term proposal in it. And the term proposal has been defined in Section 2A as follows. When one person signifies of another his willingness to do or to abstain from doing anything with a view to obtaining the assent of that other to such an act or abstinence, he is said to make a proposal. So if I offer to sell you my car, I have given you the proposal. If I offer to teach you, again it's a proposal. And suppose I have every right to construct a building on an empty piece of land, but for your sake, I agree not to exercise my right of constructing in return for something, then my act of abstinence from constructing the building can also be deemed as a proposal. So my willingness to do something for you, give something to you, or my willingness to abstain from doing something which I have every legal right to do can all be defined under Section 2A as a proposal. So there are different types of offers. The first one that we are going to take a look at is something called a specific offer. Now, supposing I make an offer to Mr. A that if he pays me rupees 5,000, I am willing to sell him my bicycle. B, on hearing this, is eager to purchase my bike. So he immediately comes up to me and says that he has agreed to my offer and pays and gives me 5,000. Now in this case, I had extended my offer only to person A. So it is either A himself or an authorized agent who on behalf of A can accept. Because it was a specific offer and it was not made to B, B cannot accept my offer. So an offer which is specific in nature can only be accepted by the person to whom it is being made. On the other hand, we have something called a general offer. Now supposing I had made my offer saying any person who pays me 5,000 rupees can purchase my bike. Then in this case, Whoever comes up and fulfills my condition, that is payment of rupees 5,000, is eligible to accept my offer. So a general offer is one which can be accepted by anyone as long as the other party fulfills the set conditions of the offer. Now, a cross offer is a rather typical situation. Supposing today in the morning at 7 o'clock, I decided to sell my car to my friend who is living in another city. So I write him a letter stating that I wish to sell him my car for rupees 10,000. At the same time, the same friend wished to buy my car for rupees 10,000 and hence wrote me a letter about the same. My letter and his crossed each other in the post and reached the other party. My letter stated that I wished to sell him my car for 10,000. His letter stated that he wished to purchase my car for the same rupees 10,000. Here, the terms are exactly the same. The mental intention of both the parties is the same. But technically speaking, both the parties have made an offer and neither one of us has actually accepted it. Because an acceptance is an answer to a question, which is the offer. This is known as cross offer and it is not deemed to be offer plus acceptance. Cross offers are only offers and remain so. They do not fruit into an agreement or a contract. So now that we have used the word acceptance, let us try to understand what it is. According to section 2b, when a person to whom the proposal is made signifies his assent thereto, the proposal is said to be accepted, and a proposal when accepted becomes a promise. So I offer to sell my car to Mr. X for 10,000. The moment he says yes, what he has made is an acceptance, and my offer plus his acceptance results in a promise which now I am supposed to keep. In order that the acceptance of an offer results in a contract, the acceptance must satisfy certain conditions. First and foremost, the acceptance should be communicated by the offeree to the offerer. For example, if A makes an offer to B, then B or an authorized agent of B alone can make the acceptance, and the third party C has no right whatsoever to make the acceptance. So if I have made the offer to you, it is you or your authorized agent who must clearly make the acceptance back to me. The second condition is that the acceptance should be absolute and unqualified. Absolute means the entire offer, and unqualified means without any conditions attached. For example, if A offers to sell 100 kg of rice to B, then B must either accept the entire offer of 100 kgs or reject it. He cannot accept to buy 50 kg of rice and call it an acceptance. Similarly, B cannot put a condition that he will purchase 100 kg of rice if A sells it to him within 48 hours. This cannot be deemed as an acceptance. The acceptance cannot modify the offer in any way or attach any conditions to it. Third, the acceptance should be made in some usual and reasonable manner, so unless the proposal itself prescribes the manner of acceptance. For example, if A has made an offer to B to sell his car and specified that the acceptance must be made by registered post, then B has to make the acceptance by registered post. If B sends his acceptance by any other method other than the specified one, then A can claim that no valid acceptance has been made. However, if there was no specification in the offer on how the acceptance should have been made, then the acceptor can make his acceptance in any manner which may be deemed reasonable by a common man. Finally, the acceptance should be made while the offer is still subsisting. For example, if A has offered to sell his house to B within the next 1 month from the time B receives the offer, then the time limit is clearly specified. Any acceptance made after 1 month from the time B receives the offer will not be considered valid. However, if A offers to sell B his freshly harvested crop of mangoes and does not mention any time, even without a specific mention of time, it is reasonably understood that the offer is valid only till the time that the mangoes are fresh and sale worthy. Once the mangoes are no longer sale worthy, the offer ceases to exist. So we have seen the basic fundamentals of offer and acceptance. This is the beginning of your basics of contracts. Do keep following this series to know more, to understand the basics of contracts, to do well in the entrance exams. Wish you all the best. Have a good day.